be a legend. When it's on the line, seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Stand the test of time. Seize the moment when the moment's right. Come on, believe you're in this fight. Don't ever be afraid to be a legend. Hold up, are you listening? Focus in, we're looking to make history. Let's go, we know what
Hey, it's Tuesday night, and you guys know what time it is. It's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. This is where we all agree to come together and just have a good time talking about high school football, a game that we all love. You guys, you guys should see what I'm seeing in the background here. You know, the way this show is set up, you know, the software that I use has all these guys waiting in a virtual backstage area. Right. And so I got Chase Garnto ready, representing Lowndes, ready to go. Cole Moore representing Tift County and Thomas County Central. He's ready to go. I can see them in the background. You guys can't see them yet, but I can. And Cole is just jamming away at this countdown music. It is hysterical. I wish that you guys could see it. Now, in fairness, they can see me jamming too. And I was getting down too, man. I forgot that they could see me, and I was just dancing away in my chair. So anyway, that is kind of proof positive that I can't dance, but that's okay. I can talk. And because I can talk, we are having this weekly meeting called the PreGame Blitz, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to have a good time tonight. This is going to be a fan-driven show. It's always been that way, but especially tonight because we got some super fans that are kind of, you know, Chase is kind of newer to our show, so he's got a fresh perspective, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say about the Lowndes. What was that other team? They were kind of non-existent. What was their name? Their name's right on the tip of my tongue. Some call them Big Blue. Do they even have a football program anymore? Oh yeah. Lowndes versus Tift County. Lowndes versus Tift County. I think that's the name of their program. You know, it might be wise to suit the Irwin County players into Big Blue uniforms and let them play the games. But you know, Cole, he is a brave man tonight because let me kind of illustrate what it was like to be a Lowndes fan over the weekend. You know, about 10:30, 11 o'clock Friday night, you know, after the 45-0 score. And we all realized it's a spring game, but fans were having fun Friday night, especially when Zach Grage was announced as the head coach for Lowndes. You guys remember on this show, Cole and his counterpart, Justin, was blasting Zach Grage and Lowndes. And here we are. Lowndes whitewashes Tift. So here's it's kind of hard to describe. This is what Lowndes fans were kind of resembling. Listen to this. Here we go. That's just worth playing again. Cole, you just got to sit there and take it. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Before I bring these guys on the screen, I do have to thank our sponsors, right? Commercial Banking Company. They are our newest sponsor. I can't get over that video. I laughed so hard when someone sent me that video, and then I posted it and watched all the funny reactions to it. I don't know who that guy is that's dancing in video, but he can dance, and two, it was just kind of a funny looking dance. So anyway, with that said, I want to thank Commercial Banking Company for sponsoring this foolhardy show. We thank all of our sponsors for having confidence in us that we can get their message out. And Commercial Banking Company is our latest sponsor. Guys, if you have a checking need, checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, IRAs, loans, especially mortgage loans, because mortgage rates are going up. If you have this idea of buying a house or building a house, now is the time to go ahead and get that done before rates go up even more, because I'm predicting that we probably will. Right. So go ahead and get your loan situation squared away by giving the folks at Commercial Banking Company a call, 229-850-8848. You don't have to live in Lowndes County to take advantage of the mortgage and business loan services of Commercial Banking Company. So welcome aboard as sponsors of the PreGame Blitz. The next one is Freedom with Steve Nichols. I watch this show every morning, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. It's always very riveting. It's always very, it gets your blood pumping first thing in the morning. And sometimes that's what you need, right? Now, Steve talks about politics, so I'm going to give you guys fair warning. Fair warning. He talks about politics, and he's a conservative. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, first thing in the morning, don't watch it. But if you do, this is the show for you. Steve Nichols can be seen on Facebook at Freedom with Steve Nichols. We also want to thank Matthew Godwin at Verizon Wireless on Perimeter Road. Got a need for iPhone, Androids, accessories, or small business accounts? Give him a shout. White Oak Investment, Kyle Conger. Kyle and I probably talk a couple times a week. One of the cool things I like about Kyle is he and I will actually pray for each other. He sent me a text last night saying, hey, man, I'm still praying for you, praying for your family. So I appreciate that, especially in a financial planner. He's my finance guy. And so he gives me sound financial advice. And in a time when the stock market and other financial markets are very turbulent, he gives me sound financial advice, and I sleep well at night because of that. So if you have the need for his services, Kyle Conger, White Oak Investment. He can be reached at 229-850-8848. He's got 3 offices, one in Thomasville, one in Valdosta, and one in Jacksonville as well. So the guy knows what he's doing. If you have the need to have your headaches or migraines treated, Cole Moore, if you suffered from a migraine over the weekend because of that beat down that the Lowndes 5th graders put on your varsity team, you might want to give these guys a call. Josh Batson and Justin Haskin, the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta, certified headache specialist. Josh Batson, Justin Haskin, 229-333-9838. Of course, I'm kidding about the beatdown. We're just having a good time, fans getting together, talking about this stuff. It's good-natured fun. So, guys, don't take anything that we say tonight. Don't let it get under your skin. We're just having a good time as fans talking a little smack. A Shade of Perfection, custom shades and blinds. Tim Neesmith at ashadeofperfection.com. He can hook you up by making your house look better from the road, right? And also making your windows very functional. He specializes in custom shades and blinds. He does a fantastic job. So give him a call if you have the need for his product. And finally, Pepsi Bottling Company, based right here in Valdosta. We want to thank these guys. I'm going to blow this up right here. You notice that I've got a couple of new type of product placement cans tonight, right? That is Mountain Dew Energy and Rockstar. Along with, in the background, you see the Mountain Dew Spark, regular Pepsi, all these things. Cole, you distracted me, man. You must have just drank an energy drink tonight right before you went on the air. So we want to thank Pepsi Bottling Company for being our title sponsor this year. With that said, let's bring on our super fans. Cole Moore, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right, LG. Sitting there backstage and I'm just getting beat down, talking about beat downs and white caps and whitewashed, and good night. Let's calm down.
So let's speaking of beat down, let's bring on Chase Garto. How you doing there, Chase?
What's up, Larry? How about them Vikings?
And let's bring on. Look at this guy. Just I'm not even gonna. Come on, Justin. What are you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas?
No Dean hairpiece.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Come on,
Lord.
dude. Let's keep it above board. Keep it above board.
All right.
All right. So anyway, good stuff. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And in about 5-10 minutes, maybe sooner. Wade Sumner, he is one half of the radio crew for the Coffee County Trojan. He's texting me right now. Yeah, okay. He's going to be calling in about 7:30. So talk about that Coffee County, Brooks County scrimmage. So anyway, there you go. Chris Pace and the guys at Coffee County. We got a representative of the Coffee County Trojans that's going to be calling in and talking about that game over there. So let's go ahead and get the conversation started. First of all, guys, I'm sorry, just got distracted because there's so much going on. We've got a board meeting in Lowndes, a called board meeting where they're voting on a new superintendent tonight, and
Well,
it's potentially.
congratulations.
Well, we don't know if he's going to be approved yet because there's a lot of
Maybe yours
controversy.
won't be like Adam Hathaway.
Oh no! Come on, man. Come on. Let's keep this conversation above board tonight. Okay.
I'm sorry.
House is tonight.
So let's talk about Chase. While these guys talk about Tift County, let's talk about how well Lowndes did. Now, Chase, going into this game, we'll get to Tift County in a second, Cole. Chase, going into this game, the biggest question mark, other than the new coach and his staff, was the quarterback play. You know, we got 3 adequate quarterbacks that either anybody out of the 3 could start. I'm convinced after Friday night's game. But so they were Tate Sermons, Marvis Parrish, and Brooks Best. In your opinion, how do you think those guys played?
Well, I thought Marvis did fairly well. I thought Tate Sermons was head and shoulders better than the other 2, by far. Tate was night and day difference from what I saw last year.
Yeah,
he's matured. He's very much poised. He's put on a little weight. He's been in the weight room, and it shows. Because he flat ran over some people Friday night.
He did,
but he made some good throws. Early on, and he made a nice little run. Second quarter, maybe. He made a nice little run.
Chase, let me show the highlight that you're talking about because I'm sure that Cole wants to see this. So here's the highlight you're talking about. This is Tate Sermons. Boom. All right. So first of all, for Lowndes fans that was wondering about will Ja'Cory Brown's replacement have the ability to move around, be mobile? I think that answers the question right there. Whether you're talking about Tate Sermons, Brooks Best, Marvis Parrish, they're all very agile and mobile quarterbacks. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. We're still going to see plenty of read option plays with the quarterback running the ball, aren't we?
I would think so, based on what we saw Friday night. Now, it is a different looking offense. It is very much a different looking offense.
Hey, where are we getting this?
It.
Where are we getting the feedback from? So can you guys mute your line? So if you're not talking, maybe that'll cut back on some of the background noise. Chase, go ahead and finish. Make your point.
Different looking offense for Lowndes fans. For those of us that were there Friday night, it was pretty exciting to watch. Smoke Fleming in that offense, like I told you previously from watching the intramural scrimmage, fit in really well, and he did.
Yeah.
Smoke is going to be a force in the backfield for Lowndes this year.
All right, so for the fans that don't know who you're talking about there, you're talking about the kid that wears the number 1 jersey. He was basically Chase Belcher's backup last year, although he ran like a starter, right? And this year he looks like he's bigger, he's more developed, he's faster, he's able to break tackles. We saw that the other night. So that's what you're talking about. We're going to see plenty of Ja'Cory Smoke Fleming this year.
Receivers did really well. The receivers caught some nice passes, really nice passes. I thought Tate had a chance to throw the ball. I thought he delivered it with poise. I thought he delivered it with accuracy. There's some things that I think Brooks best wishes he could have back, some throws he wishes he could have back. But, you know, in Brooks' situation, Tate's been under the lights out there, Martin.
Yeah.
He's been in the crowd situations. I don't think Brooks has ever been in that type of a situation with that many lights and that many eyes on him. And I think that showed a little bit, but that'll come with time. I mean, you know, that's his first game under the lights at Martin Stadium.
That's right.
And, you know, I don't think the kid did. I wouldn't say the kid did bad. That situation, I think he done about what we expected him to do.
Gotcha. Cole, let me ask you a question. You weren't there at the game, so it's kind of unfair for me to ask you a firsthand. It's impossible for me to ask you a firsthand. But you've talked to a lot of because you were keeping in touch with me, your other fans, Tift County fans during the game. Over
I have
weekend.
I have a lot of Touchdown Club friends that
have
my phone blew up. Whether it was Lowndes fans picking, which I can take that, but it was. I know about everything that you do, and I wasn't even there.
You were keeping very up to date about the game. So what was after the 24-hour emotional roller coaster that Tift County fans went through, after people kind of calmed down a little bit, where do you stand this morning? What is your opinion about the program? Not the program. I don't think it's fair for me to characterize it that way. But what do you think about the team heading into the summer practice season?
Well, the honesty, I don't feel good about it.
Okay.
I mean, you can't.
Is that another Tift County fan in the background?
Yeah. No. So here's what you have, and this is my honest opinion. I love that program. I bled sweat, tears, everything for 4 years for that program. I won a region title with that program.
Sure.
I beat the Vikings multiple times with that program. So it hurts me to see because there is talent in Tift County.
Yeah.
The weekend, it's the same. There has not been anything calmed down, LG. I think that's where everybody's missing. The fans have not calmed down. This fan base is hungry.
Yeah.
But you cannot what I tell people, you can't continue 3 to 4 or 5 years, fire, and we'll rebuild. It's not a good situation. I don't have high expectations for this team, and here's why. Many truthful Lowndes fans will come out and tell you that they expected Tift County, scrimmage or not, they expected Tift County's best game.
Yeah.
Why? Because Tift County, on any given year, they come to Martin Stadium, they give them their A game, and everybody knows it. You can say, oh, no, not Big Blue, but I remember a year where y'all were 9-0 and Tift County didn't have a playoff and went into Martin Stadium and beat the Vikings, who are a very good team.
Tift has always played us tough. They really have.
So when you have a 45-0 beatdown, let's call it like, I'm a blunt guy. I call it like I see it. All right. Against that team, a team that always, Tifton's going to come in, and I expected more. Now, I did hear some clarification that is going to kind of hurt us, and this is why this will be a long season. The transfer quarterback we got out of South Carolina tore his ACL at the beginning of spring ball, and he will not be playing. So we have now been able to give that ball to a 9th grade quarterback. Now, that's no excuse for some of the other things, but right now, LG, it's tough for me to see anything positive because I've looked at the highlight reels. No disrespect to Tate. Tate's a great athlete. But if you play defense on that Tift County, you do not get your butt ran over by a quarterback.
Woo.
That's Tift County defense. I mean, yeah, I played for the program. Not knocking the kid. Some of the highlight reels where I seen Lowndes running up and down the field looked like kids were scared to tackle. There's things that can be fixed. But I think we're looking at a long and dreadful year for Tift County, even in 1-6A, because there's some heavy hitters there. I mean, Thomas County Central, just their spring game, Justin Rogers has that offense thriving with that talent. I mean, you got Northside Warner Robins, who looks like, they're coming back. In Lee County, everybody knows about Lee County.
Well, guys, here's where I'm going to bring Justin Haley into this conversation. Justin, I'm going to ask you a question, and it's indirectly related to the game the other day. When it's springtime, that's usually, guys, would it be fair to say that's when you have the most excitement around a program? Because, it's springtime, people are in a good mood, the weather's not bad anymore. That's when just about every fan thinks that their team is going to win a state championship. The numbers usually go way up as far as players coming out, that kind of stuff. So Cole and Justin, specifically, for a 6 or 7A program, what do you expect? How many players do you expect to see on a sideline?
Well, let me tell you, can I answer this? And I'm not trying to interrupt.
Okay. All right.
I had a conversation with Jeff Herron, the head coach for the Camden County Wildcats. I asked Coach, how many kids you had come out? He said, well, I had 220 kids come out for 9th through 12th.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this alone. And if there's Tift County fans, I want you to listen to this. 9th through 12th. Tift County has 56 kids. That's 9th through 12th.
That's 9th through 12th.
There is a huge problem in Tift County. I'm not used to that. I'm used to 100, 120 kids. This is a town that loves. There's something going on, and I've moved away. But I've also promised to keep my mouth shut on certain things. So I'm going to do as I'm told to keep in good eyes with the Tift County faithful.
What you saw on the field, I think can be explained. Maybe you have a young team, maybe you have kids that are being put in different positions, and they're trying to read instead of just reacting. That kind of stuff can be explained. But when I looked across the field, that was probably the thing that stood out to me the most. Was I actually stopped and counted. And I counted less than 60 players. And there was since everybody was sitting on the home side, I turned around and talked to one of your Tift County fans. I'm not going to tell you who, right? But they had a player on the team, and I said, "Is it a custom thing with the coach for him to not bring everybody on away trips, even for a spring scrimmage? Because normally you want to bring everybody for spring scrimmage because you want to get everybody on film, right?" So I said, I just counted less than 60 players. Is that the whole team? And they shook their head. It's like, we think it is, but honestly, we don't know what's going on with the program right now. So I want to give Noel Dean the benefit of the doubt, because I think before the show, I told both of you guys, I think all three of you, I said, I want to be respectful to Noel Dean because he's entering his second season. So normally we say we give coaches 3 years to get their system in place. So I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's still going through this transition period and trying to find out who wants to play for him. But it just looked kind of odd to have a 6A, 7A program have less than 60 players on the sideline. So that was my objective observation. You can't disagree with that. So hold on one second. Hey, caller, welcome to the PreGame Blitz. What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Wade Sumner.
Wade Sumner, how are you, man? Let me go ahead and introduce you to our audience. Guys on the screen, y'all can jump in and help me with this interview with Wade Sumner. Wade is one half of this year's radio broadcast team for the Coffee County Trojans. You know, longtime legendary voice for the Coffee County Trojans, Gene Wade, right? He returns. Well, I'm not sure, Wade, even how many seasons has he been there, like 30, 35 years, something like that on air?
I believe it's well over 50 years.
Well over
on air.
50 years. I was way off there. Well over 50 years. And he returns, and his counterpart from last year was having some not health concerns, but it was a little bit more challenging to help out this year. So you have stepped up, and you are Gene Wade's grandson, right?
That's right. That's correct.
Which I think is one of the coolest things ever, to have a grandfather and grandson broadcast team on the radio calling the games on Friday night. That's going to be special for you. So thank you so much, first of all, for calling into the show tonight to give your perspective on, the spring game that y'all had with Coffee County and Brooks. Now, with that said, you kind of took it on the chin a little bit. You got 1A Brooks County went over there and pulled out a victory, 24-21. But I still like to remind people, this is a spring game. Mike Coe has had, 10 practices with your squad before having to play that game. So with that said, that's the backdrop of our discussion. Tell me what you liked. Let's just start talking about the positives. What was your positive takeaways in what you saw Friday night on behalf of the Coffee County Trojans?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we've had to move a lot of guys around. Our offensive line, if they didn't graduate, then they're not playing at the same position that they were this year. We had a guard move to center, and the other guard moved out to right tackle. So, and then the rest of the guys there, one came over from defense, and the rest that was their first live game action. So, I think the game plan was, pass blocking can be a little tough, the footwork and getting that set. Plus Brooks County, they love to stack the box and send a lot of pressure. So yeah. I think that's why Coffee ran it a lot. But I was actually very impressed with how they held up in the run game. Okay. Especially as heavy as a run as we had. There was definitely some holes there for the running backs to run through.
Man, that sounds actually pretty promising. Now, you guys ran a lot. I mean, when we say a lot, you guys ran the ball a lot Friday night. Was that the game plan going into this, because you only had 10 practices? So did Coach Co just want to establish a base, because you can't throw the entire playbook at him for 10 practices. He's moving players around. Why was it so heavy, like 95% run? Why was it so heavily geared towards the run game Friday night?
I just believe that, we got a quarterback that came over. He played DB last year. They moved him over. And throwing with a lot of pressure in your face, I think, puts a lot of stress on a young quarterback and a new to the position quarterback. He's only had 10 days at quarterback. And Coach Co has only had him at quarterback for 10 days. So, that was probably the main reason. They didn't want to, kind of overdo it. They wanted to work him in it slow. And, some of the worst things as a quarterback mentally is getting in your first game and you throw 3 or 4 interceptions. So I think they just wanted to keep it on the ground and help him out and let him show off a little bit of his running ability as well.
I got you. Okay.
Larry, got a quick question.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I just want to ask. So watching last year, and you guys having like Maurice Turner, and you also had other weapons that, in my opinion, just weren't utilized at the wide receiver position and also at the skill position on defense. The thing I see a lot with Coffee County seems to be, you got skill guys. Like take Ware County, for instance. They were able to win the region due to Castellano scrambling and then keeping his eyes downfield and having good wide receivers. Coffee's always had good wide receivers in a spread game. The issue I've always seen is you don't have a quarterback that can get to it and get to any of those skill guys. And now it sounds like you have to move a DB back to quarterback. I guess my question is not knocking the kid. My question is do you have anybody in like the middle school program or anybody that is actually upcoming that you're looking forward to be able to run that spread offense to get it to what seems to be every year you have 3 or 4 good playmakers that can spread the field over?
Good question.
Yeah, and it's no different this year. Yeah, that was a very good question. It's no different. We have athletes on the outside, and we always have just a stable of running backs at Coffee County. Antoine McDuffie looks really good. You kind of got a change of pace back with Fred Brown. He's a bigger kid. So you definitely have the running back situation and the wide receiver situation handled. But there is a very promising, in my opinion, in seeing him play the first quarter in the JV game. Coach's son, who's a lefty, he looked really, really sharp. I like the way he carried himself. He had a lot of moxie in the pocket, and just made a lot of good plays in that first quarter of the spring game.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was just curious about. It seems like a lot of teams put it together, and then there's just always that missing piece. And to me, last year, no disrespect at all to the quarterback you guys had last year. It seemed like he keyed a lot on, hey, I've got to get it to Turner every play, and if he's not there, it was kind of like lost in the pocket type thing. And so, I just feel like that's been you guys' missing piece basically the last year or two to be able to throw the deep ball 40, 50 yards downfield and, even 10, 15-yard outs or whatever the case may be, just to get the defense to back off to open up your run game.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Tyreek Edwards is the moved over to quarterback. He has a lot of time. We also have Marquise Hansley is the backup, I believe. They tried to throw him in situations and try to throw the ball, but the protection broke down a little bit. So I definitely think it's going to be a challenge for and the rest to really work with those quarterbacks this year and teach them the mental side and the physical to being a quarterback. But I really look forward to it because he does look undersized and not really developed into his body yet. But Coach Co's son really, really did impress me a lot Saturday.
All right, so Wade, you kind of cutting in and out, so I'm not sure if you're getting out of cell phone range. So I'll make this quick. When Mike Coe was named the head coach, Coffee County, just a couple months ago, there was a lot of excitement in that community. And even though you had a small little setback in this spring game, I'm assuming that the excitement level in around Coffee football is still pretty high. Is that the case? Is that what you see up there?
I do. And talking to some of the staff, I think we have a great staff. And the guys that he brought in, they're super high energy. They love being out there, love what they do. But also the guys that are still there that we had from the staff last year, guys like Coach Triplin that works with the DBs, and Coach Booth, who I believe is the best strength and conditioning coach in the country. That was big that them two guys stayed along with others. But I really do. I like this staff, and I think there is a lot of buzz in the town. I don't think anybody really worried about the game too much. So I think this season, I think there is a lot of anticipation surrounding it and seeing what Coach Coe and the team can pull out this year.
So listen, speaking of the upcoming season, August 19th, straight out of the gate, Coffee takes on Big Blue in the Tift County Blue Devils, and you guys are going to face a high-octane Tift County offense. Are you guys ready for them?
I tell you, that offense is always good. I remember them in 2017 with Rashad Bateman and just all their skill guys they had. Literally, they didn't have a single weak spot on their offensive side of the ball. It's going to be challenging. The defense Coffee has is a little undersized, but they're quick. So it's going to be a battle. You're going to have to put up points playing Tift County, and I believe Coach Coe is going to. He's going to go in knowing that. So it's definitely going to be a battle.
I got a question. So I'm a former Tift County Blue Devil. So Coach Coe needs to be. I'm sure people in Douglas are going to let him know how much that Tift County game means. Some of these Lowndes fans on this show tonight don't understand how much that Coffee Tifton game really means to both fan bases.
Oh, it means a ton. My senior year, 2017, I played Tift, and that was the electric, funnest game that I played all year. And we just blow for blow. We got 21, battled all the way back. I mean, and ended up going ahead by 1 point with a minute left. Griffin, I can't think of the lefty name, but he ended up driving down the field for a game-winning drive. But like you said, it was a intense game from start to finish, and it really does mean a lot to the communities to be able to kind of brag and say, well, we got the year.
Absolutely. Well, Wade, we want to thank you so much for calling in tonight. Let's get you scheduled to call in on a regular basis to keep us updated on the Coffee County Trojans, because we have a lot of Coffee fans that watch the show, and I'm sure they're tired of hearing us talk about Lowndes all the time and Justin Haley talking about how great Westfield's doing, that kind of stuff. We need to get some representation from the Coffee County Trojans. Are you up for it?
Absolutely, yeah. I had a blast being on.
Well, fantastic, man. Have a good night, and thank you so much for calling in. Hey, hey, you can sign off by saying "Go Trojans." How about it?
All righty. Thank y'all so much. Go Trojans.
Absolutely. Thanks, Wade. That was kind of a fun call, wasn't it, Chase?
I don't know. The moving the DB to quarterback position was a little mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
If you were looking for a quarterback, just in my opinion, I would imagine you would want to look at the wide receiver spot.
Well, now that you mention it, we saw that happen a couple of years ago over in Lee County. Dean Fabrizio did that when his quarterback graduated out of the program. I think his backup quarterback got injured early in that season, and he brought in a wide receiver. I think his name, what was his name?
Yeah, but no, Chauncey Magwood.
Chauncey Magwood.
He played quarterback from he was little till ninth grade, and then Pinson was the starting quarterback. So when he got hurt, Magwood had played QB his whole life. I mean, I get what you're saying. That one was just a little bit different situation. He could step in and swing the ball all over the place.
Gotcha. Okay. But it is different to bring a DB into quarterback.
Yeah, that is very unorthodox. I don't know where Cole and Justin stand on it, but that's very out of the box thinking from a coach's perspective.
You know, guys, since we're talking about Coffee County and Brooks County, we've seen this over and over again. Is Maurice Freeman the most underrated head coach in the state of Georgia? Isn't it time that he gets his props for being a really great head coach?
He is. I believe he's one of them. I mean, you cannot. But you know, Jeff. You start talking about underrated coaches. Jeff Littleton's one of my favorite underrated coaches. What he's done at Bainbridge has been outstanding. They are consistent year in and year out. I mean, Maurice Freeman is very good, and he's all the time knocking off a big dog. I mean,
absolutely, man.
I mean, whether it's Valdosta, people fail to realize my sophomore year after a region title, we come in ranked number 4 in the state. Here comes Maurice Freeman with that triple option, which is now different now, but he come in with that triple option, and man, they had 3 backs go over 100 yards on us and upset us in Tifton, and you know, go on Valdosta, and you know, so I do think he's underrated. This did shock me. I thought with even though scrimmage game, Amari Arnold no longer there, but Brooks County maybe make another run.
Absolutely. Chase, we talked about the quarterback situation a while ago. So, going into the spring, I would have ranked the quarterbacks, 1 and 2 interchangeably, Brooks, Best, and Marvis Parrish, just simply because Tate Sermons was playing baseball in the playoffs for the Vikings, and he didn't have any practice time. And then he goes into practice just basically last week. And so I would have put him at a close third just because he didn't have the reps. But after that spring game, honestly, I got to springboard him to a close first now.
I would springboard him into the 1 slot. I don't put as a 2, simply because Marvis Parrish in, I know he did throw 1 or 2 passes that was really pretty that I saw that I can remember that stood out. But other than that, he looked like more of a, we're going to put him in and watch him run, or run the read option, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered from it.
Well, Chase, your microphone is coming in and out, so it's getting kind of hard to hear you. So if you got wireless earbuds, that might be the cause. But there was some other kids that were really, really standing out, guys. I'm still getting a lot of feedback, and that was one was Kivas Thomas. Everyone at the Division I level was looking at this kid. Kivas Thomas, keep an eye on him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him on both sides of the ball, Chase, on offense and defense. What do you think he played more the other night? Was it offense at wide receiver?
I would probably say it was almost an equal balance, Larry.
Okay.
I saw him playing some DB and some corner, and I would almost like, with his size, I would almost like to see him slide back and play safety.
I got you. Okay. You know, when I was doing pregame photo stuff before the game the other night, I got a chance to meet some of the college recruiters there. There was a coach from Western Kentucky in Josh Crawford. The defensive coordinator for Florida State was there. The Vanderbilt assistant was there. There was another coach, I can't remember who it was there as well. And I asked them all, who are you here to see? Are you here just in making a general recruiting trip, or who you here? And every single one of them says Kivas Thomas. But they got treated to a great performance by some other players. Smoke Fleming, as a result of that game, got an offer from Western Kentucky, I think, this week.
I would tell him also, if you didn't notice it, because a lot of what he does is away from the football.
Yeah.
So, like Marlon Evans, he is all over the place in that defense, man. He is all over the field and can run with daggum near any receiver.
Yep.
I saw him actually sidestep his own linebacker to get across the field to make the coverage on a post. So, I mean, it's things like that are definitely going to stand out to recruiters when they're at Lowndes. They may not mention it, but I guarantee you he stood out. There was some other defenses like Jaden Battle, Vernon Wright, all those guys like that, man. That defensive front was absolutely awesome. And I'm sure several of them stood out to those recruiters as well.
Yeah. Wilbur Pelfrey reminds us that he said 50-50 Kivas. I told y'all he was going to be a force on both sides of the ball. You did. You've been saying that all along, Wilbur. So I got to start listening to you, man. Hey, before we leave the talk of the Lowndes Tift County game and move on to Colquitt and Cairo, Cole, let me get your opinion on something. One thing that I really, really, really enjoyed watching Friday night was Lowndes' defense. It just seemed like they had so much energy on that side of the ball. I was glad to see them run out of a 4-man front instead of last couple of years ran out of a 3-man front. I told you. I was glad to see they ran out of a 4-man front, but more importantly, I saw so much energy on that side of the ball. Sure. The tackling was so much better. And is that because of Ashley Anders?
Ashley, well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you about Ashley. I had a love-hate relationship, but there's one thing I did not hate about Ashley Anders is his defense at Tift. And a lot of people forget, as they talked about those last couple of years, those bad years at Tifton, but people fail to realize it wasn't the defense that was bad. The offense could not move the ball. Ashley Anders takes pride in tackling, form tackling, go get me the ball, and he wants some. I'm just going to put it out there because as young folks, this is how we know it. Because he used to tell our kids that
Yeah.
I need to find 11 headhunters on my field at all times. That's what Ashley's going to preach. Now, look at Tifton. I'm going to tell you, Lowndes fans, listen very closely. What should excite you the most?
Tell us, man. Tell us.
What Coleman Lewis is going to become under Ashley Anders. Some of these guys that are very skilled, you're going to see a lot of, I'm not going to call him Todd Grantham because I have a hate relationship with Todd Grantham right now. Everybody knows why, but he throws exotic blitzes. He likes to blitz. He likes them edge rushers fast around the corner. So everybody that I've talked to for Lowndes that's tired of seeing the 3-man front, you're going to see the 4-man front. You're going to see blitz. And, you know, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. I really believe Lowndes is going to stop talking about slack. I ain't going to hear you won't hear no more. Ashley Anders is the real deal. And Ashley
I don't know,
Anders
man.
knows
People in Lowndes are in love with Byron Slack. So you're saying that after a year or so, Ashley Anders is going to supplant Byron Slack as the defensive coordinator of choice. And if that's the case, I'm all for it because Byron Slack was an excellent DC. And if Ashley Anders can take that defense to another level to surpass
I think he can.
I'm all for it.
I think he can, and here's why. And another thing, if you're a Lowndes parent right here and your child plays defense and you want him to get to college, Ashley Anders has put a lot of kids through college at Tift County at the big level, whether it be Colorado State, Oregon, Georgia, Tennessee, because Tyree West is considered. He was another guy from so the list goes on and on. I can pull the list up and send it to you, LG. It's baffling to know how many kids he's just at Tift County he's sent. I think he's an excellent defensive coordinator. He's a guy I would not trust as a head football coach. Defensive coordinator, Ashley Anders is going to do well at Lowndes, especially with the athletes that they have. And, you know, I think
now let me challenge what you just said there for a second. Ashley Anders as a head football coach. We all know his record at Tift County. We can look it up and see.
It was mediocre.
Now, was that because of Ashley Anders or the environment at Tift County? I would say that it's probably more of the environment at Tift County than Ashley Anders as a head coach.
Yes, you have the right to challenge that, and I would probably be on your side, just not on this show, not in the public.
Man, stop backtrack. Just give it to
him. So I mean, like, I get where you're coming from. I think Ashley is in a better spot at Lowndes. I mean, they were young last year on the defensive side of the ball. He's got a more experienced defense. And from what I hear, I'm not on the practice field with Lowndes, but what I hear is a very hungry defense.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I think y'all are going to come back at the end of the year and y'all going to say, Cole, you were right. I'm going to tell you because I just believe him as a DC. I've watched him work. I've watched him coach some phenomenal ball games. And one of the most phenomenal ones, he was not even the head coach, LG. You remember the game as Tifton fans called the choke?
Oh, yeah.
At the Concrete Palace?
Yeah.
The one where Lowndes was up, I think, what was it, 28-7 at
Don't
one point?
start with me, man.
Maybe one of his best games called.
Tift County came back and yeah. Let's move on.
Hey, can I interject two questions on the offensive side of the ball so we can move on from Lowndes? No offense, but I do want to ask these two serious questions. Okay. Not throwing shade. Serious questions. One. What was the percentage of read option / run plays versus pass plays in the scrimmage game for your offense?
I would say if I had to yes, Larry, I would probably say
it's kind of hard to say. I can't remember.
The read option was not run as much as you would think.
Well, just running the ball versus passes, then just overall.
I would say it was probably I would say it was probably more run, but it was probably, I would have to go back and look, but it's probably 60-40, I would guess.
Well, all right, I got three then real quick. Then my second one is, how many passes were thrown further than 30 yards in the air, probably?
More than 30 yards in the air?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to say. I'm struggling answering that question, mainly because, Justin, that, Tift County turned the ball over so many times deep on their side of the field that Lowndes didn't have an opportunity to throw the ball deep.
Like our own 30, we were starting on their own 35. So, I mean,
it
wasn't no need to throw it deep down the field.
Well, then my third and final question, which is the most realistic, being honest, is a two-parter. One, do you think any of the quarterbacks you named can throw the ball 25 to 30 times in one game, complete 65% of the passes, and throw 3 or 4 touchdowns, and you have that one stud wide receiver that can go up and get the ball and have 8 receptions for $120 and 2 TDs?
I think all 3 quarterbacks are capable of doing what you just said. Now, as far as a stud wide receiver, I would say Kevis Thomas is a stud wide receiver. And I would probably say Aiden Sifa as well. He's a 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver, runs like a deer, and he's going to give defensive backs some fits during the regular season.
So what I hear is you have the players. Now let's see if the offensive scheme follows.
Absolutely. The players are there. I mean, we're talking about Lowndes, obviously. I'm not saying this in a braggadocious way, but we're talking about Lowndes. I mean, there's 150 kids out there. 10th through 12th, 150 kids.
You may want to remind Justin that the one kid that we mentioned, Tate Sermons, is a baseball commit to to the side of his body.
Yeah, he's already committed to South Carolina as a baseball pitcher, so he can sling the ball.
No, I got you on that. It's just sometimes baseball pitchers don't always. I could throw the heck out of a baseball. I couldn't throw a football 20 yards.
But I will tell you this: one of the hardest throws for a high school kid to make is that 15-yard out route to the sideline, because that is a long throw that requires accuracy, right?
And timing.
I saw 2 out of 3 quarterbacks make that throw Friday night. And so Tate's arm is pretty accurate. He's got a lot of zip on the ball. He's not going to be a quarterback. He's not going to be a kid that throws at 60 yards down the field, I don't think, unless his arm has gotten stronger than since last year. But he's got sufficient arm speed, arm strength to get the ball down the field. There's no doubt about that. Now, we're going to move on from Lowndes because I wanted to touch on Colquitt and Cairo a little bit. We'll finish the Colquitt and Cairo discussion next week. But let me ask you, Justin, how year in and year out, I'll ask Cole this question as well. Year in and year out, it seems like Cairo is one of those clubs that they're just sneaky good. They're just sneaky good. Now, when I saw Cairo was going to scrimmage Colquitt County, I still didn't think it was going to be very much of a ball game. How surprised were you guys to see that spring scrimmage as close as it was between Colquitt and Cairo?
Yeah, I still don't think Cairo. I still don't think Cairo is.
Go ahead.
I still don't think is good as advertised, but here's the kicker. I don't think Colquitt is as good as advertised either.
Well, after a spring game, it's kind of hard to make that. To me, it's kind of hard to make that statement whether a team is good as advertised, because a lot of these teams, 100% of these teams have so many areas to improve on. So it's kind of hard for me to make a statement like that.
I'm not going on. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Cairo's not going to win a region title or a state title in 4A this year.
Okay.
I'm going to say this. Cairo's always shows up on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And defense just always lackluster every year for some odd reason, even though they got the athletes. It's kind of like Early County. They're the Early County of 4A. But I'll say this, and I talk bad about Colquitt all the time, but I will say this. I think Colquitt this year and next year, this year especially, maybe next year, but this year, is South Georgia's best chance to win a 7A championship. And hear me out. Here's why.
I can't wait to hear this.
Because number one, you've got the best quarterback in the entire region at quarterback. You just do. He can swing the ball 50, 60 yards, 70. I don't know about 70, but 50, 60 on a dime. You've got Landon Thomas at tight end. You've got the other tight end. You have that offensive scheme that can compete with the North Georgia DBs and their offensive style, as well as their running backs. The defensive side of the ball is the question mark. They don't have much on the defensive side of the ball. So that's kind of where I don't know, but I give them the best shot of staying in every game because their offense can put up 50 points if they need to quick.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I watched the highlights. I obviously didn't go to that game, but I watched the highlights. Someone had posted a video online, and it looks like two of Cairo's scores came on. One was a blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown. And the other one was just a busted coverage in the secondary. It was a long touchdown pass. And so, and there was a blocked extra point that Colquitt tried as well. So they've obviously got some things to clean up in the kicking game. And I think they'll do that. Because Colquitt always has a strong kicking game. They just always do. And I got to think that they'll clean up that secondary bust as well. So take away those two scores, it seems like their defense played really, really well. So I can understand, Justin, why you would say that they're probably odds-on favorite for South Georgia to represent the title game. But I'm still not convinced because they still have a young offensive line, just like Lowndes does anyway. So I think it's going to be it usually comes down to Lowndes and Colquitt to win the region title. I know Camden's going to have something to say about that. Some Valdosta fans are going to disagree as well. But it's usually between Lowndes and Colquitt. And I think that the team that has the offensive line that matures the fastest is going to be the region champion this year.
So I'm just the messenger. So Justin, so you're saying that Colquitt will win the region in 1-7-8?
I'm saying.
I think that's what he's saying.
I'm saying, even though as much as I've disliked him over the years, I'm going to give it because I do like Fan at quarterback, and I like the full tight ends that they have, and like I said, it's the offensive scheme that. Now I'll say this. Let me say this: if the coach keeps the offensive scheme and allows Fan and those tight ends to run free and run the 4 and 5 wide system like Rogers did, is there. But if he goes against it, they don't have a chance.
All right. So how bad does Colquitt beat Lowndes this year?
Oh Lord, we have moved on from the Lowndes discussion. Why are you stirring the pot?
No, I'm just saying. I'm not stirring the pot. I asked
you ingratiated yourself once again. You redeemed yourself with the Lowndes faithful earlier in the show by talking glowingly about Ashley Anders' defense, and now you are digging yourself into a hole again.
No, I'm not digging. I'm asking his opinion.
Oh, okay.
In these two situations, the teams, I truthfully, with the question marks in certain areas and the people they don't have coming back, like they lose a lot of linebackers in the defensive line, and so I got to see a few games first. The only team I can tell you for a fact that's going to win the state is Buford. That's it.
Buford is not going to win 7A. I'm telling you both. I'm telling all three of you right now. Buford's not going to win 7A.
Who's going to win it?
How Buford's winning 7A.
Who's winning it?
It's the spring. I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say, don't say what I'm thinking you were going to say. I'm finna hammer it down.
Oh, my gosh.
I will never be able to go back and eat at the Smoking Pig.
You want me to go ahead and tell them what I told you the other night?
Go ahead, man.
Y'all can write it down in permanent marker. Y'all can
write it down. Write it down.
Y'all can stamp it in the date book right now. In the next 3 years, Lowndes wins the state title.
Yes. I'll agree. I'll agree with that statement because I know what y'all
right there, Larry.
I agree with that.
Now, wait. I want to make sure you guys didn't understand. Maybe I want to make sure I didn't misunderstand Chase. Chase, you're not saying that in the next 3 years, Lowndes is going to win 3 state titles, are you?
Within the next 3 years, Lowndes is going to win that elusive state title that we've been missing for what?
Since 07.
15 years now, give or take. Yeah.
I agree with that. But
It's-
you're not winning one this year.
It's not happening, especially when
We'll be in the hunt.
when the reclassification
Oh,
happens.
sure.
That's when it's going to get even tougher.
Well, I do.
We ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about that team across town, if that's what you're concerned about.
Oh no, no, they still eat McDonald's French fries over there.
This,
Guys. See, it's comments like that that get me in trouble
My
as the
bad.
facilitator of this show.
I know they have a McDonald's
Just earn
All
some points
American
with
this
me.
year, but I
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Now, I told you guys to keep the show above board before the show even started. What in the world?
I did good for an hour, 3 minutes, and 18 or 15 seconds.
That's because we kept you muted most of the time.
Hey, Justin, I might have to take back some of the bad things that I've said about you being a Lowndes hater, seeing how you joined with me on the hate. Hey, I'm with you.
That's the thing. That's the thing people don't realize. I will just go after certain teams for no reason because I know I get a rise out of the fan base, and it's just it's fun at times.
What? Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. Like some of the posts he makes, he just does it to get a rise out of the fan base.
I know. Hey, listen, before we get out of here tonight, I want to have this lasting image burned into Cole Moore's brain. Lowndes fans celebrating.
At a scrimmage. Oh my God.
Lord.
That would look like LG if he grew out a perm and a mullet.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Man, that's just mean.
Hey man, I'm just saying, there's that could be your long lost brother, my man.
No. There's not very many times I'm speechless, but now I'm speechless.
Oh Lord. Wow.
You guys got the fans rolling in the comment section. I told you guys, listen, there are going to be other shows that do a better job of bringing on coaches and interviewing them. There's going to be shows that, just do a great job of year in and year, like Chris Beckham does a great show. But there's not going to be a more entertaining Georgia high school football show than this one. This is one of the most entertaining Tuesday nights that you will ever spend. So we invite you guys to come back every week.
You will be entertained and informed.
That's right.
Next week I'm doing the show live, and I'm gonna put my camera stand in the tractor, and I'm just gonna do the whole show in the tractor, just driving around playing on the field. I get the field ready, man.
Speaking of tractor, one of our Lowndes fans, Tim Neesmith, says this. He says, "Is Chase in a John Deere tractor?"
Larry, let me tell you something. Me and Tim used to play softball together. So I've known Tim for a while. No, Tim, I'm not in a John Deere tractor, even though I do work on them. No, I'm not in a John Deere tractor. I promise you, I don't want to spend any time after hours in a tractor. I can assure you, buddy.
Hey, if you work on John Deere tractors, we've been waiting on a mower deck on a tractor for 6 months.
Here we go.
Can I
Listen.
get one?
On that note, we're going to end this show right here. You guys can connect after.
We were waiting on you.
Hey, it would not be complete if we didn't make a full circle talking about Lowndes football and tractors. To me, that is we're completing the circle there.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Go Plowboys. Absolutely. So, guys, as zany as this show and as fun as it's been, we've reached our 8:10 mark. So we're way into overtime. So we look at Stella, Cole Moore's new baby girl.
Hey, she could probably go play defense on Tift County right now, dude. But
She start.
Absolutely. With that, guys, I've lost control of the show. With that, let me say goodnight to everybody. You guys have been watching the Pregame Blitz. On behalf of Cole Moore, Chase Garnto, Justin Haley, I'm Larry Godwin. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out and go Vikings.